Welcome back to Iron Strengthens Iron, Strengthening Men Through Faith and Wellness. I'm Dr. Kevin T. Hattaway, here with my brother, Dr. Michael E. Hattaway. Today we're diving into part 2 of our series on low testosterone, or low T, and how it impacts marriage.
Yeah, last time we laid the groundwork on how low T affects mood and relationships, and how easy it is to blame your spouse instead of addressing what's really going on internally.
Exactly. So today we're moving from theory to practice. What can couples do to tackle these challenges head on, using practical strategies rooted in biblical wisdom and a lot of empathy? Episode 2, Practical Strategies for Low T and Marriage.
Let's start with the basics. In our last episode, we highlighted 1 Peter 3:7, which calls husbands to live with their wives in an understanding way. But what does that really look like in the day-to-day?
Well, the foundation really is open and honest communication. A husband should feel safe enough to say, "Hey, I'm not myself lately. I'm struggling with some things, and I think it might be low T."
Absolutely. That level of vulnerability can be tough for anyone, especially men who might feel pressure to stay strong or appear stoic.
And that's why it's crucial for wives to create space for open dialogue, to respond with empathy and understanding rather than judgment or dismissal.
Exactly. A big part of this is active listening, really tuning in to what's being said verbally and non-verbally without immediately jumping in with solutions.
Right. Active listening means putting aside your assumptions and reactions just to fully hear your spouse's experience. A simple, "What's been the hardest part of this for you?" can go a long way.
And asking questions like that shows genuine care and a willingness to understand his perspective. It creates a partnership, which is essential when dealing with any challenge in a marriage. Owning actions despite low T.
Here's another critical piece. Men taking ownership of their actions, even when they're influenced by low T. Just because your testosterone is low doesn't mean it's an excuse to be disrespectful.
Absolutely. It might sound like, "I know I've been more irritable lately and I'm working on managing that. I'm talking to the doctor about my low T and I appreciate your patience."
That shows a willingness to take responsibility, and it aligns with the idea of loving leadership in 1 Peter 3, verse 7. It's not about being perfect, it's about being the best husband you can be, even when you're struggling.
And that requires self-awareness, recognizing moments when you're about to react in a way that doesn't align with your values. Self-awareness is key to breaking patterns of blame shifting and projection.
I agree with you that cultivating self-awareness with practices like mindfulness, journaling, or even therapy can be beneficial. These are practical ways to better understand your triggers and patterns. This is the Iron Strengthens Iron, the strengthening process.
And this is where the iron strengthens. Iron analogy comes into play. Facing those uncomfortable truths about yourself, the moments when you haven't lived up to your own standards. That's the sharpening process.
Exactly. It's about growth, even if it's uncomfortable, and that strength then flows into your relationship, making it more resilient and grounded.
So true. Challenges when faced together become opportunities for deeper connection and growth as a couple. You're shifting from you versus me to us against the problem. Practical coping mechanisms.
Let's talk about some specific tools and strategies for navigating the day-to-day challenges of low T. Iron strengthens. Iron emphasizes the power of shared activities that boost mood and energy levels.
Yeah, it sounds simple, but sometimes just getting outside together, going for a walk, or trying a new hobby can make a huge difference. It shifts focus from the problem to shared positive experiences.
And it doesn't have to be extravagant. It could be as simple as cooking a meal together or taking a dance class. The key is to find something that you both enjoy, and that helps you connect on a deeper level.
Those shared experiences can create positive memories in the midst of challenges.
It's about actively creating joy and connection in your relationship rather than just focusing on the problem.
Exactly. And speaking of focusing on the positive, practicing gratitude is another powerful coping mechanism. Taking time each day to acknowledge what you appreciate about each other can have a profound impact.
It really can. Gratitude helps reframe your perspective, focusing on the good instead of getting caught up in the negatives.
It could be as simple as sharing 3 things you're grateful for at the end of each day, or even starting a gratitude journal together. Let's talk about stress-reducing techniques.
Alongside gratitude, stress-reducing techniques like mindfulness meditation or deep breathing exercises can be game changers, especially during those tense moments.
Definitely. These techniques can be practiced alone or together. Imagine taking a few minutes each evening to do deep breathing exercises as a couple. It creates a sense of calm and connection that carries you through the harder times.
Right? And these moments remind you that you're not tackling this alone, you have each other. Let's review seeking community and professional support.
Lastly, never underestimate the power of community and professional support. Sometimes working with a therapist or counselor can be incredibly valuable for navigating complex challenges like low T in a marriage.
Absolutely. A therapist or pastoral counselor provides objective perspectives, helps identify unhealthy patterns, and develops effective communication strategies.
Community is another key ingredient. A support network, whether a men's church group or an online forum, can make a world of difference.
It's about finding people who understand, have walked a similar path, and can offer encouragement and support.
Hearing other couples say, "We've been there and we made it through," can be the boost of hope and motivation needed to keep going. Closing thoughts.
To wrap up, we've covered a range of tools from open communication and gratitude to self-awareness and professional guidance.
It's not about finding the one right solution, but experimenting and seeing what works best for you as a couple. This is about approaching challenges with an open mind, a willingness to learn, and a commitment to support each other every step of the way.
And remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about progress, taking those small steps each day to strengthen your connection and build a more resilient relationship.
That's what it truly means to sharpen each other, even amidst the challenges.
We've covered a lot of ground today, but it all comes down to choosing to show up for each other, communicate, listen, and grow together.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep connecting, and keep sharpening each other.
See you next time on Iron Strengthens Iron. To recap, low testosterone levels impact more than just physical health. They can also affect mood, energy, and even relationships. Men with low testosterone might experience symptoms like fatigue, decreased libido, irritability, and even depressive moods. These effects can create tension in marriage, particularly if the symptoms are misunderstood.
The blame-shifting fallacy occurs when we avoid accountability by assigning fault to someone or something else. In marriage, this might sound like, "I wouldn't be so irritable if my wife were more supportive," or "I'm tired all the time because of her demands." This mindset creates a disconnect because it dismisses the underlying issue and damages intimacy. Blame shifting sidesteps self-reflection, preventing us from acknowledging things we need to address, like the possibility of low testosterone or unspoken frustrations.
Today's verse, 1 Peter 3, verse 7, says, "Husbands, in the same way be considerate as you live with your wives, and treat them with respect as the weaker partner, and as heirs with you of the gracious gift of life, so that nothing will hinder your prayers." In this verse, Peter emphasizes leading with understanding and gentleness, a loving leadership that prioritizes empathy over blame. When we stop shifting responsibility, we're more likely to address health issues like low testosterone. This openness fosters connection with our spouse and helps us both grow. When faced with humility, our struggles strengthen our marriage rather than weaken it.
Here's today's takeaway. Low testosterone is a real issue, but it shouldn't lead to blame shifting. Instead, embrace the call in 1 Peter to lead with respect and understanding. Thank you for joining us on Iron Strengthens Iron. If this episode resonated, share it with a friend, and remember to check back regularly as we continue our journey in health and faith.